I'm Tara.
And I'm Misty.
And this is the Handmade Podcast. Welcome to episode 13. We're going to talk about what we're working on, what we've bought, and a book review of Brioche knitting. Is that what the book's called? Brioche chic.
I never pronounced that right.
By Mercedes Tarasovovich Clark. So welcome. And what are you working on?
I am working on the second of a giant man sock.
Yay!
Yay!
Way to get to number 2.
Yes, way to get to number 2. I have one finished.
Huzzah.
And this is the giant man sock. I dyed this yarn. I absolutely love the color.
I do too.
I don't really have a name for it yet.
And what's the pattern?
This is
the double
gusset heel.
Uh-huh.
And so I just did a 76, I think, 74 or something.
Show on the bottom of that heel. That's so cool.
And so I did a I've partridge, I believe it's called, heel flap. I don't know if you could really, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see that pattern. And then on the bottom of the heel, bottom of the foot.
Ooh, it's so pretty.
There is, do you see those little V's right there? There's 2 of those guys.
And has Matt put it on his foot yet?
Yes, it fits really well. And I'll show you the toes in a second. That's funny. So there's the first one. And there's the second one. And I haven't made one of these heel flaps and gusset things, double gusset things for myself, but it supposedly fits really well.
Awesome.
So my poor husband he broke one of his feet. He broke one of his feet in a lawnmower accident.
Oh no.
Yes, we were just thankful he didn't lose any toes.
Oh man.
So one foot, he calls it his Spock foot because and my husband's a little OCD about everything being equal, like
symmetrical.
He's like symmetrical. He's like, one of my ears is taller than the other. I mean, he's like, yeah. So he hates that his foot like kind of goes like that. And so this is not that foot, but yeah, can you see how funky I made it to fit his his weird toes. He has a super long middle toe. And so I made it to fit his toes. This is the left foot.
Yeah, that's extremely wide. Like a wide
I just kind of like, I just kind of started doing it where I thought, it's like, okay, this toe goes up higher and these start down lower. So I'll start decreasing here. And then it kind of, so I just kept having him try it on. And I tried to write down everything I did. Hopefully I did okay. But the other one will fit a little different anyway. But yeah, I was like, sure, why not? So I'm kind of nervous about this stretching out and being too big on him because, you know, I'm new at socks. So
I don't think they're going to stretch that much, especially because each time you wash them, you can block them again.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you soak them and they'll get back up. I mean, my socks haven't stretched at all.
That's good.
Sometimes to the detriment.
Yeah.
You know?
So he loves them. He's so excited to have them. So I'm working on the second one. I've gotten through the ribbing this morning.
Here, and you're knitting it on your teeny little needle.
I hate knitting ribbon on this teeny tiny needles. But after you get started, especially on this bigger stitch count, it's really not bad using them at all.
Yay!
So yay, I'm working on that. What do you got going?
I've got, of course, still the Isabel. I am working on, oh, it's really awkward to show it at this point. The back, yeah, actually, if you want to lift up the fronts. So the fronts are completely finished. And you can kind of see their armhole over here. And then this is where the shoulder, it's like got a decrease for the shoulder. And then this part goes back up around your neck.
Yeah.
And so it's got some extra longness. So these will be joined in a 3-needle bind off. And then the fronts will come around like that.
I love it.
And yeah, I've put it on. Like I held this together and put it on. And it's very nice and drapey. I like it.
I like the drape of it. It's not like extremely soft, but it's soft enough, and it feels like it's gonna wear excellent.
Yeah, well, it is a sock yarn. It's mostly merino and I think 10% nylon. So I specifically got it so that it would wear really well. So I'm doing the back, the very back, like we're like mid back right now,
Awesome.
And I've got 7 inches of that left.
Now you have,
and then the sleeves. I have a deadline.
When's the deadline?
Luckily, it's February 4th. It got moved back because that's when we're getting together for her birthday. Awesome. However, I'm driving myself over there. We're going to go see. Okay, so Mom, if you're watching, you just should not be watching. She actually knows this part. So we both like a cookbook author called Issa Chandra, who is like she does a lot of vegan cookbooks. And my mom got me her cookbook for Christmas a year ago, and then she liked the recipe so much she got it for herself, and we talk about this cookbook, like, for the last year. We'll be like, oh, I'm making this on page blah, blah. What are you making? Like, last night I made this spaghetti and meatballs out of it. And my mom's not a vegan or vegetarian. It's just got lots of recipes in it that are good for the whole family that aren't just like vegetables.
Yeah,
you know, but they get the kids to eat a lot of vegetables. So she is doing a tour, and she's coming to Nashville, and my mom lives outside of Nashville. So we're going to see, she's doing like a cooking tour. So she cooks like a 4-course meal, and then you get to eat it. So it's like a dinner theater type thing.
I've been to,
I've never been to anything
one of those,
like it.
Southern Living. Me and my mom went to one of those Southern Living things, and we didn't get to eat a whole dinner, but they passed around samples of everything they cooked.
No, I hope this is a dinner. The way that they word it is like, and you'll get a 4-course dinner, so it better be a dinner.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, obviously she's not making it, and it's set up at a place, it's called City Winery, so they have a whole kitchen, and I'm sure she has a whole staff, and she actually's opened a restaurant in Omaha, which I never planned to go to Omaha before, but now I really want to go to a restaurant. So I emailed my mom, and I was like, is this something you want to do? Because it's on like a Wednesday. And she was like, I would love to do that. So... but I'm driving myself there, which means I really don't have any extra time in the car. Normally when I give her a gift, I finish it in the car. But this has to be done by February 2nd. And her birthday's on January 29th. So it's like just a couple more days I get to do it.
That could be the difference right there.
So I was totally on schedule and going great until we got the new dog. And then my knitting time is like... oh my goodness, for like an hour after he goes to bed before we go to bed. It is so limited. And so I don't even know. I told Jay, like, this weekend you might have to take the dog and go someplace and leave me alone for 4 hours. Because, like, I cannot. Oh, and actually, the dog is going to be in surgery to get neutered tomorrow. So I'm thinking, like, he'll be gone all night. And that whole night, I'm going to do nothing but knit. Like, Jay's making dinner.
They're going to keep him? They always let me take my dogs home.
Yeah, they're going to keep him we drop him off Tuesday morning, and I can get him Wednesday morning. So he stays overnight. So, I guess just to make sure he's okay, and I'm looking forward to it as a knitting vacation after the last week of not being able to do anything ever. So what else are you working on? You've got another project.
I have another half-finished object. I finally perfected my knitting pattern, my mitten pattern.
Yay!
And so this started as the Tiny Twist mitts, but the Tiny Twist mitts are child size. So I really rewrote the pattern. I used her cable, but otherwise I just kind of...
it's beautiful. And last week you were saying it was too small.
I ripped everything out and started over. So I like the fit now. It's not hugely, loose, but it's loose enough to where I didn't feel like it was choking me. It's just the right length.
I love it. So have you cast on the second one?
I have cast on the second one, and I'm past the cuff and into the thumb gusset.
It's so beautiful.
This is Malabrigo yarn.
And what kind of needles?
These are...
oh, come on, you're the needle girl.
I'm the needle girl. I think these are Hiya Sharps double points, and these are 8s.
Do you like them?
I do like them. I love this. Look at this point. This taper and point is amazing. So I do really like them. They're all metal.
Love it.
Love it.
So I am also working on a mitten project because it got really cold here last week, and I have no fingerless gloves. We were talking about it 2 weeks ago, and then it just got colder and colder. So I went home and I took a break from the sweater and I cast on. I used classic mitten patterns. These were just it's Neurocurion, which I've had in my stash for easily 5 years, and Knit Picks, I think it's
trying these on for you.
Merino style. Thank you very much. So you'll notice I just didn't close up the thumb so that I can use my smartphone.
I think I'm gonna, on the second one, just on this right hand, I'm gonna put a little hole right in mine.
Nice. But see, your phone does what mine does, and it needs your thumbprint to start it.
I know.
So that's why I left my thumbs out, because I was like, everything I do with my thumbs. So it's Neurocurion and the gray Knit Picks something. If you go to my Ravelry project, you'll see it there. I've got the second one to this point, and then it got warm, and then we got the dog, and I was like, I need to knit on the sweater. So I've been watching the weather, and when it's going to dip down below 30, I'll start on them again.
There you go.
Because you really only need it when it's super cold.
I want to knit my second one before. I've took good notes and wrote the pattern good, but I'm afraid that I'll get intimidated and be like, I've forgotten too much and I don't know how to do
it
it.
again. You can do it again.
No, but I don't know if I'll push myself to do it again once I have that reluctance to get that reluctance.
Can you see how the neurocurion changes?
I love that.
You love that? I love that too. You can see it's also covered in dark hair.
I've got a neuro project that didn't turn out exactly like I want it, but I love the yarn so much I think I'm going to frog it and try again.
Yeah, I love this. I've started 500 things with it, and it was sitting in my stash, and really the only reason I chose these yarns is because they were the worsted weight yarns I had. I have like 4 skeins of worsted maybe in something that's warm. It's not like because I have some worsted yarn I've used for amigurumi, but it's all cotton or acrylic blend. I didn't want that in Mittens. So it's called Classic Mittens. They're published by just some old yarn company, and I'll share the link, but it's vintageknittingpatterns.com. It's like, it doesn't even have a designer's name on it. They've been around forever. And
I need to
altered them a little bit, but I did not take notes on I'm just going to look at it and just like go as I look at it. Does that make sense? You can do that with yours. Just watch it and be like, oh, how many stitches is that? And count.
I wrote mine out like I could probably, if I sat down, I took my, you know how you'll do your shorthand in whatever, and you know what you're talking about. If I sat down, I took good enough notes where I could write out a pattern, but I probably won't do that. I'm not a pattern designer and don't have any kind of aspirations to be.
So what else are you working on? Is that
it. That's all I am actively working on.
But
I finished something last night.
What did you finish?
I finished socks. These are my first socks that fit me.
I've not seen these yet, so I have to admire. Oh, they're beautiful. Are these your bootstrap socks?
These are my bootstrap socks. These are by Laura Neal out of Sock Architecture. They fit.
Do they fit? Yay.
These are my first socks that fit. They have this lovely little detail down the side that go all the way down to the heel. The heel is called Ball Brigand or something like that. And it's a really neat way of doing a heel. And it's kind of like a heel flap. You work it down, and then you've slipped up the first stitch on all of those rows. And so it's really super easy to pick up and knit from there. And
this is yarn dyed by you in beautiful pink and green striped. I love it. It's so awesome.
it, but my OCD, let's see which sock I finished last night. I think it was this one on my hand. See where this stripe gets thicker right there? I started knitting, holding the yarn in my left hand.
That much changed it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It loosens my gauge enough to change the spiraling, because these socks are not self-striping. These are spiraling. And so you can see right here, it was really even up until I started knitting with my left hand, and it loosens my gauge enough to where it makes that big a difference. And I realized what I was doing, but I did not have it in me to rip it out. But of course it bugs me, because I'm like, and I did that on this sock and totally ripped it out, and I did.
So it's not because you started decreasing, because that'll make your stitches.
It did. You can kind of see where it starts right here in the decrease, and it does that on the heel.
But I guess your decreases are so quick.
Yeah, that didn't really bug me. But yeah,
So I have to ask you, because I thought of you. Do you see the mistake?
Oh, right
There's
there,
a single gray line instead of a 2.
I didn't notice that at first.
Right. And okay, there's another mistake too. There's a line where there's 3 gray. I don't know if you can see. There's 3 gray here and there's 1 gray here. And I thought of you, and I was like, Misty would rip that back. Oh, well. And then I thought, I wonder if she'll ever see it, because that's the thing. You see it on your own, but you would never have noticed on mine. Especially once it's on your hand. You're just like, that's a mitten. Because it's a mitteny job. Same thing with your socks.
Yeah, and I'll love them and I'll wear them, and I'll get over it. But yeah, it totally bugs me.
You'll have to work your way through it.
Yeah, I was so tired, and I was ready to be done with these, and I'm like, there's no way I'm ripping them back.
And how about the shawl you're wearing? Did you finish that?
Yes, I finished this. Thank you. I would probably have. This is, I'll take this off. It's kind of warm anyway. This is Ermelie by
Well, we'll link to it, and we've talked about it.
Yeah, we've talked about it. And so this is yarn from, this is alpaca silk cashmere.
Oh, so pretty.
And you can see this is pretty good and long. And I made the medium size, I believe. I think there's at least like a medium and large. So I made the medium size. And there was like 800 and some yards in the skein. This is by Unplanned Peacock. And I have enough to do another item. And I've scouted projects, and I believe I'll do a cow this time.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
So
it's
yeah,
so pretty. I
love it. My only beef is I really have to work to get these to lay nice and flat. When I wrap it around my neck, they want to flop up and stuff. But you can do it. It's doable, and I don't care. I love it.
It is beautiful. It's so super beautiful. I love it. So that pattern, the way it was structured is you first did the lace pattern and then you did short rows, right?
Yeah,
to give it the shape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I like that because you get it feels like you get the hard part out of the way, and then it's smooth sailing. Because I did this really fast. I started this at like right on Christmas, because I had put the yarn. I'd bought the yarn at that Jonesboro thing and come home and said, honey, look what you got me for Christmas. It was really expensive yarn. And I just couldn't justify just buying it just out of the blue.
So since it was your Christmas project, you've opened it and immediately started working on it?
Yes. Well, I didn't wrap it. I just stuck the skin under the tree. But I love to have yarn waiting on me, because the last few years, that's been my thing. I will finish, other knitting or gift knitting or whatever, and I start a project for me on Christmas.
I love that. That is so cool.
It's it just kind of gives you something to look forward to, and yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. So is that it for your finished objects, or do you have another one?
That is it.
Okay. So speaking of knitting for yourself, I meant to tell you this before we started recording. We talked last time about doing a winter knit-along, sweater knit-along.
Yeah.
And so I started that thread in Ravelry this morning.
Did you? Awesome.
Yeah. Part of what made me late is I was like zoning out, drinking my smoothie, and I was like, oh, I'll start this thread. And then I was like, oh, it's too late. I got to the shower. So, because you just bought the class.
I did. I bought 2 classes off Craftsy. They had a 50% off sale, and I literally have stocked the Fit to Flatter class since before Christmas, because I knew I wanted it.
We talked about it last week. It's from Amy Herzog.
Amy Herzog. 50% off is the cheapest they've had it, so I got it for $20. And I started.
Is that sale still going on? We'll link to it.
I don't know. It ends like soon. I've got an email last night that ending soon. So if it's going on, I don't know. But watch for them if you're interested in it. Watch for their sales. Sign up for their emails, because they send me emails occasionally saying, "Hey, put stuff on your wish list." I think that they may, target you based on what you have on your list or whatever.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I got that one, and when they sent the second email, I went ahead and got a class by J.C. Boggs, and it is the worsted to woolen. It's drafting.
The spinning class?
Yeah, it's a spinning class drafted from worsted to woolen. I've been seeing everybody's 15 and 15 projects on Instagram, 15 minutes a day of spinning. And I just love it. And I've had my eye on, I've been exploring the idea of spindles. I'm so not sold on them, because I'm like, why don't you do spindles if you got a wheel? But I feel like there's some unwritten rule on the poonies and rollags that they're just so special that you need to spin them on a spindle. I don't know why, but I feel like it's some unwritten rule where I've seen all these pictures of people doing it.
Do you know what it is though? It's because of those types of, it's the other way. It's if you have a spindle, it's easier to spin with a puny or a rollag than it is with just roving.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see everybody who has a spindle spinning with those fibers. But you want to take it the other way.
Yeah,
I buy these fibers, so then I have to get a spindle. I was just so sad at the spindle. It made me, I was just really bad at it. I've never gone back because I was miserable.
I got a free trial to Kindle Unlimited. And so it's a 30-day thing. And so I've been downloading all these knitting and books and stuff. And so I got the Respect the Spindle, but I read it in bed for a little bit the other night, but I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know that I'll actually get one. If I do, it'll be a super cheap one just to kind of try it out and play. But it really doesn't do it for me. It doesn't interest me. I don't have a lot of time to spend on spinning anyway. And so that's
So the J.C. Boggs class is a wheel class, though,
It is a wheel class. It is.
Awesome.
And so I do want to, I love the idea of hand spun and all the stuff that you can do with it. And I have a wheel, it sits here, and I don't do anything with it. And it's really a shame that I have that kind of tool, expensive tool, and don't, make the most of it. And I never have. I mean, I have spun on it some, but I want to love it. I want to know everything about it. And I feel like if I'm going to be a dyer of fiber one day, I really need to know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that will really help.
Yeah, and so I got a big order. I'm going to do a big relaunch or big shop update here before too long. And I did a big order of yarn and went ahead and got some Superwash BFL. It's super combed top.
Ooh.
And so it is super soft.
Is that what I squeezed this morning?
That was that stuff this morning.
It feels amazing.
It feels amazing. So great. I went ahead and dyed it, and I like how it turned out. It turned out a red, but like I had put all these different colors on it thinking, oh yeah, it'll be a tonal. It'll do this and it'll have that in it. And you can kind of see where some of the other colors are in it because I put like red and fuchsia and a little bit of burgundy and this, that.
It's beautiful.
Orange. And it's pretty, but you really can't see any of those colors really coming through. But, I mean, that's a learning experience. I was dyeing it for me, and I just wanted something tonal to play around with to start with. I wanted to focus on my spinning and not so much about color management, you know, as far as that goes.
Yeah, I like
with
that.
Something multicolored.
I always liked spinning with more solids because of that whole, you kind of know what you're getting, and then you can make stripes appear where you want to make stripes appear. That's always what I did. Is like I started with solid or semi-solid wools and then spun into whatever I wanted it. So you can make long stripes, short stripes, and if you know your own project, you can make it exactly perfect.
It's a whole rabbit hole, and I'm slowly going down it. I can tell, but I'm trying to really pace myself and not jump because I want to do so much with dyeing.
I think that class will be awesome though.
I think
spinning class because I loved everything JC Boggs does.
And it was half off too. It was only $15. So.
Excellent. As soon as we're done, I'm gonna get the Amy Herzog class because my question was, can you knit any sweater with it or do you knit a specific
I really
sweater?
think it's any sweater. From what I'm seeing so far, she's talking about. I haven't gotten very far in it, but she's talking about body types, and the description even said we're going to teach you some basic. You're going to figure out what best suits you, and you're going to have a set of like modifications that you can apply towards any sweater to make it best for you. And so I really think that it can go for anything. I want to do a fingering weight featherweight.
Right.
And so she has written the modifications for that, but I don't know if I need that pattern or if I can go ahead and, since she's teaching me all the modifications, I can just go ahead and
That's what I would do so that it fits you because her modifications would be, you know, I don't know, maybe take the class, see, could I do this for myself? And then...
I'm kind of just, you know, watching and going through. I'm in the early stages anyway because I had bought a cone at SAF of undyed yarn and I'm not gonna work. It's not gonna work out for me to get any more of this. And it's like sock yarn. It's like 80% merino, and then it's nylon and tencel. And so it's not that.
A featherweight would be beautiful out of that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna dye it for yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna dye it for myself, and I think I'll have quite a bit left over because, unfortunately, I did not write down at the time how much yardage was on the gun.
We can figure it out.
And so I thought, how am I gonna figure this out? And so I just kind of went and looked from the person I order my undyed yarn from. They offer cones, but it varies greatly. I mean, even in the same weight, it varies greatly.
Well, so what you do is we wind off 100 or 200 yards and we weigh the skein, or we wind off 50 grams, we weigh the skein, we see how much yardage, then we weigh the cone, and you figure the actual cardboard part of the cone. I have some left over. We could weigh, I think it's just a couple ounces.
Because I was like, how am I going to...
And then we'll do the math.
Too.
Yeah.
But I was like, how am I going to know how much that's going to weigh? That could, you know, throw
Probably
it off.
like 2 ounces.
Okay.
That's what I think when I got my hem lace weight on a cone, that's what I weighed. So you could just say, okay, so subtract 2 ounces, and then how much is that going to be? The little dog wants attention, and she's so cute. So you bought the 2 classes, but you also bought like a bag, right?
I did. I bought a bag from the local yarn shop. You need to go lay down. Yeah. No, not on me. She wants to get on.
This is the dog-friendly edition. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
This is Everything Mary,
it matches
and
my sweater.
It has a little.
And it matches your sweater.
It matches. It's my favorite color. And so this is the bag. It's by Everything Mary. It was super affordable.
Because it has a zip. This zip.
It has this really cool zip this side down.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I was not even prepared for that.
It has like places for your needles. And I was afraid to put all of my floppy needles up in these spots right here. So it has these sideways spots. And I'm sure this is for like straights. But I used it for my...
I love it.
And I've stuck my new set of high-highs just down in there. And it's holding them securely enough to oh yeah,
I was going to jump off. That's okay.
That was the only problem about that I kind of had to like. And
I love this bag. So where did you get this?
This was from the local yarn shop Carriage House.
I've never been there. You need to take me.
I need to take you. I love Terry. And this was very affordable. This was $34.
That's awesome.
For this huge bag. It's got all these pockets around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets going around it. And then it's got a very big pocket. Paper cut inside that exits right here and then goes all the way down. So it's a very big pocket inside. But the inside is kind of just open, and I had like a big basket for my stuff in the living room, and it was just junky looking. I didn't like it. I wanted one of those wicker baskets with maybe a lid, but I wasn't sure I'd like it. And they were expensive too. And so, I split my finger good.
Oh. No bleeding on the podcast. That's against the rules.
And so, I got something else I forgot.
So you can put all your project bags down in
I've stuck all my project bags, all my little knickknacks, and so I set this by my chair. Everything is within reach, and I really love it. One other thing I'll mention really quick because I'll talk about it more once I start a project.
What, you're showing me the back of it
this week.
We talked about this after we recorded last time.
Ordered it. I don't know what was going on with me.
The book
I
is
had
called
some money
Curls.
come in this week. Can you tell?
And it's all different shawls that are like, kind of like the one I'm wearing in that it's longer, and the one you're wearing.
Yeah, it's kind of asymmetrical. It's like straight and then
That's an example from the inside. So they curl around you, and then they hang like that. So last week after we stopped recording, we like favorited tons of these and added them to our queues.
There's like four minimum that I absolutely love, and that's really, really unusual for me to say I want to make all 4 of those that really badly in a book. And
we talked about like
that one.
So this one. Isn't that beautiful?
Look at those cables. I love that.
And then there's also this one, which we love, which is on the cover.
Yeah, the one on the cover.
So this is Curls by Hunter Hammerson. Hunter, we love you.
Yes, and this is already sold out in a lot of places. I ordered it directly from the source, Pantsville Press.
Yeah.
And I got the free digital version.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I love it. Okay, that's awesome.
So yes.
So awesome.
But I'll talk more about it because I will be making some of these babies.
Yeah, when I'm out of Sweater City, I'm going to Curl Town.
Yes, Curl Town.
So speaking of books, we wanted to talk about Mercedes' beautiful Brioche Chic, which was sent to us by Interweave. Thanks, Interweave.
Yes, thank you.
But our opinions are our own.
Yes.
So what's awesome about this is that, can I just like launch into it?
Yes,
okay.
Go.
The photos are really fun and wonderful, but it has 3 different sections for 3 different kinds of patterns, and the first one, it teaches you all about how brioche actually works.
I totally want to do these too because I don't know who is the driving force behind this, but I've seen a lot of Stephen West. He's got a ton of new patterns on brioche.
Yes.
I've seen other patterns besides that, but I've seen a lot of people actually making it. And they said it looks kind of like, oh, it's a new thing to learn. But everybody that's doing them says, oh, it's no big deal. Once you realize.
It's really not.
Yeah.
And she talks about how it's structured, so then you kind of get a feel for how to do it. And so Mercedes, I know her, and she was like writing about this and researching it like a couple years ago. And then I think the structure of it is so cool. It just became popular and trendy in knitting because it's really very, so these are the patterns we like. We want to show you a couple patterns.
This is the basic one. I've marked this. I think it's really pretty. I think that it gives something extra to just, a solid color yarn. It's the basic pattern. It would be great for learning. I think it'd be, a really good pattern to start with.
And it's also, so the thing about brioche is it's double thick. So it's going to be extra warm. And then you also marked this one.
I love that sweater. Look at that, how pretty.
Isn't that beautiful? And so it has a little bit of brioche at the top, and then it goes down to like a smocking, which is really cool. But I think adds a lot of nice shape.
Yeah. And you could do that out of something more lightweight and make it for a... I've been looking... I need to mark that on my Ravelry thing because I was looking for a summer top. And
it's called Smocked Blouse. I was reading that wrong. And then the second chapter is about how to twist your brioche stitches. And this I feel like you don't see a lot of. Like you see a lot of the straight up brioche, but this twisted stitches is awesome. So she doesn't just like say, here are patterns, but she actually walks you through how to do that.
How to do it.
So you could do this
So yeah, if you're looking for something different, something out of the box that you're experienced in, or you're like, I don't want to do another shawl, or I'm bored with this. This is perfect.
I love the sweater, the cabled funnel neck.
Oh,
Look how gorgeous that is. That is so gorgeous. I can't decide if a sweater with that much texture would be good on me and that much thickness.
Yeah.
But it looks so slimming and beautiful.
Yeah. It looks, with the ribbing, it kind of does.
It does. I love it so much. And then the last chapter is, oh no, we have another one in this chapter with a switch, which this one's on the cover.
This is on the cover, and you've got to love that.
I just love it. So awesome. I'm kind of afraid of the bat wings on myself, but I can't get over how
I know, it's amazing.
Great it is.
And they picked my color. How
exactly. And then you also marked the diamond.
I think that is absolutely adorable. I think that you'd have to pick. You'd almost need to buy the shirt before you pick out. But I mean, to
see, it's a vest over like a blouse.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I love it.
It's really cute. Really, really
cute.
Super,
super cute.
And what I like about it is the brioche is just the front panel.
Yeah, so it would be like a small project to do too.
And then the last chapter is colorful brioche, which she teaches you to color brioche, which I think is just like the coolest thing ever. Because she walks you all through how to do it. And honestly, after reading it, I was like, okay, I could do this. Like the directions are very clear. They make a lot of sense. She gives you lots of pictures. Also, she talks about how to bind off and cast on so that it all matches the actual thing. And then I marked this one because I think this is so cool. So the whole thing is knit in the same two colors. Well, not the bottom, but then it switches which color is the dominant color. So this, the yellow, and then the brown is the not dominant, and then this one, the yellow is not dominant and the brown is. And I like when you use the same thing, but I love two color knitting.
Yeah.
I like freak out over Fair Isle, so I think that's super cool. Again, I'm like, maybe that would be too bulky on me, but this model looks awesome in it. Color block pullover. Okay, so we love the book. Thank you so much, Interweave, for sending it to us. In the back, there's a whole other brioche methods, picking up dropped stitches, correcting mistakes. So you could know nothing about brioche, buy the book.
I think it would be really cool to do two colors and do a tonal. Like a lighter shade and a darker shade of the same thing. And
especially on some of those, like I want to take the two color and combine it with a cabling so that you have like extra depth. It reminds me, this is going to sound silly, but like the Lord of the Rings cables. You know, the elves in those movies. Have you seen the Lord of the Rings? Yeah. Okay, so like the elven castles that have all those really intricate cables. Yeah. I want to do that in like a light green and a dark green.
Ooh, that would be pretty.
So we love you.
Yes, you will
Mercedes,
see.
You're awesome.
I have a huge queue, but eventually you will see something
from that book. Yay, thanks. And then we were gonna show in our new section things we found on the internet that we liked. Do you have any? You have those classes you bought.
I have the classes I bought. I could share the little the prints that I bought.
Oh yeah, I want to see those. Okay, so the thing I found that I love, and this is actually a collaboration between two Starship captains. The Starship's online program I have for small business owners, and they get together all the time and make awesome collaborations. So there's a lot of knitting designers and a lot of yarn makers, and one of them is the knitwear designer. She's actually a crochet designer. This is a crochet pattern. Let's just show you the pattern. It is the Jasper cowl. It's crocheted, and I don't know if you can see, it's got stacks of color. Angelia, so the yarn is Happy Fuzzy Yarn, hi Reen, and the designer is Angelia Robinson, and she shows you how to work with the variegated yarn to manage the color so that the color ends up where you want it to end up in the cowl. So I think that's extra interesting because that's what turns me off from a lot of variegated yarn, is that it's too crazy. Like I love your rainbow stripe because I know what's coming.
Yeah.
But like the reason I made those socks out of Socks That Rock is because I don't want to wear anything that's too weirdly messy, muddy, you know? So this helps you de-muddy the colors. And the designer is Angelia Robinson, and the yarn is in Happy Fuzzy Yarn, which is really awesome. This Corrie sock is Superwash Corriedale and 25% nylon, and I felt it. It feels awesome. So that pattern, that's the thing I found. I love. It's so cool. And then you got prints this week.
I got prints this week, and I got to meet the artist as well. She was at a little shop downtown Johnson City. And she does these awesome little watercolor prints, and she does sayings, and she has a Lord of the Rings, Hobbit,
I'm so sad
and
I
Harry
missed this.
Potter. She
I'm
had a
so
little
sad.
one, and the Hobbit one had a little picture of their of the doorway, and there's a chair sitting inside, and like you could see the countryside, and so it was a simple drawing, but then it said something about, I forget the
Home
quote,
or something.
and then the other one was like a sketch of little castles or something for the Harry Potter. So she has like simple little designs,
I love this
but the
style.
words are the main thing. I love the style. It's artistic. I love watercolor anyway.
And so she was at a shop in Johnson City?
Yeah.
I'm so sad I missed it. This was on Saturday.
Anchor. It was something Anchor on West Main. And yeah, it was Saturday. I went to Knit Group, and Mom met me, and we ran over there really quick.
That's awesome. I love
Angry
that.
Anchor,
We'll link to
Anchor,
it.
yeah.
Well, if they have a website.
I don't know if they have a website. But yeah, check her out. She's the Winsome Easel. Winsome Easel on Instagram, and she has a Etsy shop.
Awesome.
And I have posted this on my Instagram. If you want to just check my page out, you can find.
And we will link to it in the show notes too. Which you can find at handmadepodcast.com. Yes. We forgot to say that. Oh, and the last thing that I found that I love is by one of my favorite artists, Amy, of Amy's Not Dead Yet. So she does a lot of fan art like Hobbit and Harry Potter, and this is Doctor Who. And it's a Valentine's Day card from Doctor Who. And it says Gallifrey has 22 tenses, and I love you and everyone. And it's my favorite Doctor. It's Dr. Tennant. So we will link to this. So she does the original art, and then you can order the cards. So you can order more than one. So if Jay gets me this, which he's supposed to, but you see, it's both like pen and ink and watercolors.
Love it.
It's Doctor Who.
My kids are upstairs watching Doctor Who.
Exactly. So I was like, well, I have to share that. And Valentine's Day is coming up. So if you need a card for your geek, Amy's.notdeadyet.etsy.com is where she's got tons of Doctor Who and Hobbit and I can never say the name, but like monsters like Cthulhu. I can never say that word, but yeah, it's like a sci-fi geeky monstery thing. Your kids would love it.
Yes, but I've been wanting to dye since Valentine's Day is coming up. I've been wanting to dye everything and name it Valentine's colors. Like I did yarn yesterday, and I think I'm going to call it "Be Still My Heart." Aww. And so yeah, it turned out pretty. And
yeah. Well, if you're going to knit a Valentine's Day gift, you got to get on it. But if you're going to buy yarn for your Valentine, then you're the best person ever.
Oh, well, yeah. Like the best.
So that's it from us.
Yeah.
Check out our winter sweater knit along. It just started today.
Have you join us.
Absolutely.
And chat with us.
And I even put there might be prizes.
I'm sure we can find something.
Well, and we have some prizes we've been holding on to.
Oh yeah, that's
that we could share.
That's
so
very true.
We will decide what the rules are for winning, but I'm sure if you share a picture, that's going to be probably how you enter. Yeah. So share a picture of what you're working on. You know what I'm working on. We want to see what you're working on, and find the notes for everything we talked about. All the links to everything at handmadepodcast.com. You can
check us out on Instagram as well. Yes. I'm Misty Dot on Instagram,
and I'm Tara Swiger, Tara Swiger, Swiger. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.